Traveling has always held a special place in our hearts, each trip filled with anticipation, excitement, and the thrill of discovering new horizons. Yet as we age, our bodies and minds softly shift, reshaping our experience of journeys we once navigated with ease. After 70, these subtle shifts quietly alter our resilience and response to travel's familiar demands, introducing gentle vulnerabilities we may overlook in the joyous bustle of departure. This doesn't mean travel must end, but it invites a thoughtful approach, a compassionate understanding of the quiet, hidden dangers that may surface along the way. Embracing this gentle awareness helps us continue to explore safely, enriching each journey with mindful presence, deeper appreciation, and thoughtful caution, allowing adventure to remain an enduring, cherished companion rather than a quiet adversary. Danger 1. Blood clots, DVT risk on flights. William's quiet emergency. William, 75, had dreamed for months of visiting his grandchildren overseas. Settling into his seat, his excitement masked the subtle discomfort building in his leg. Mid-flight, his calf began quietly aching, unnoticed amidst the hum of engines and murmurs of passengers. Hours later, stepping off the plane, pain pierced sharply. His leg was swollen, red, and strangely warm. Deep vein thrombosis, DVT. A hidden clot had silently formed during the long, inactive hours. Aging significantly increases DVT risk due to decreased vein elasticity, poorer circulation, and less active lifestyles. Flights, especially prolonged ones, amplify these dangers, making seniors quietly vulnerable to potentially life-threatening blood clots. Dr. Ellis reflects, William's experience reminds us how vital movement becomes during travel. Aging requires gentle vigilance, brief walks, stretching, and hydration. Awareness saves lives, preserving joy without compromise. Gentle movement saves lives. If you care about safe, joyful travels, share this story. Subscribe for more quiet wisdom on aging well. Your future adventures deserve protection. Danger 2. Grace's silent struggle. Grace, 78, boarded her dream cruise, enchanted by its promise of relaxation, community, and new horizons. She moved from event to event, savoring every moment, the music, the laughter, the endless conversations with fellow travelers. It felt as if nothing could dull the bright spirit of the journey. But quietly, amidst crowded lounges and bustling buffets, Grace began to feel unusually tired. At first, she blamed jet lag or the excitement of new experiences. Yet a subtle fever crept into her body, wrapping her in an invisible fog of weakness. She ignored the early warnings, unwilling to disrupt her long-awaited adventure. 2 days later, Grace found herself isolated in her cabin, fighting a persistent cough and overwhelming fatigue. Her joyful voyage had transformed into silent suffering, her dream blurred by the harsh reality of infection. Aging naturally weakens immune defenses. The body's ability to recognize and respond to pathogens becomes slower and less efficient after 70, increasing vulnerability to infections in crowded settings like cruise ships, airports, and tour buses. Recovery times stretch longer, and mild illnesses that once passed unnoticed can now become serious challenges. Dr. Ellis reflects, Grace's silent battle reminds us that awareness is a quiet act of love. Gentle vigilance through vaccinations, mindful hygiene, and respecting our body's quiet warnings safeguards the freedom to embrace adventure without fear or regret. Danger 3. Edward's unnoticed hazard. Edward, an adventurous 80-year-old, eagerly explored the ancient city streets abroad, captivated by towering cathedrals and winding alleyways. The sun was warm, and the stones underfoot carried stories centuries old. With every step, Edward felt invigorated, each turn a portal to the past, each facade a whisper of forgotten lives. Lost in wonder, Edward failed to notice a loose cobblestone jutting unevenly from the path. His foot caught, and in a brief, silent moment, he stumbled forward. The fall wasn't catastrophic, but it shook him far deeper than the scraped palms and bruised knees suggested. Strangers rushed to help, and though he smiled and assured them he was fine, a quiet fear had taken root. In the days that followed, Edward found himself hesitating at stairways, scanning sidewalks anxiously, doubting the surety of his steps. The fall had subtly stolen something more precious than physical ease. It had stolen a piece of his confidence. Falls become increasingly common with age due to natural declines in balance, muscle mass, vision, and reflex speed. New environments with uneven sidewalks, unfamiliar layouts, and crowded paths magnify these risks. Even minor falls can lead to significant injuries or instill a persistent fear of movement, quietly diminishing independence and joy. Dr. Ellis reflects, Edward's stumble teaches us that physical vulnerability echoes into the spirit. Gentle self-awareness, choosing safe pathways, supportive footwear, and practicing balance exercises quietly safeguard not just the body, but the adventurous heart as well. Danger 4. Medication management errors, Helen's quiet crisis. Helen, 74, had always prided herself on her careful organization. Her travel bag was neatly packed, medications labeled, schedules memorized, every detail anticipated. But travel has a way of unraveling even the best-laid plans. Amidst flight delays, hotel changes, unfamiliar time zones, and the thrilling chaos of new experiences, Helen's careful routines blurred. One evening, distracted by an unexpected excursion, she missed her blood pressure medication. Another morning, unsure of the time difference, she doubled a dose by accident. Slowly, quietly, symptoms crept in: dizziness, weakness, a strange fuzziness that clouded her joyful journey. At first, she blamed fatigue or excitement, but when she nearly fainted during a museum visit, concern finally outweighed embarrassment. Helen realized that even her meticulous habits could falter under the pressures of travel. After 70, medication adherence becomes more critical and more fragile. Changes in schedule, cognitive shifts, and travel fatigue quietly increase the risk of missed or duplicated doses, potentially endangering health. Complex medication regimens require simplicity, clarity, and careful planning, especially when away from familiar routines. Dr. Ellis reflects, Helen's quiet crisis reminds us that preparation must be deeper than packing lists. Clear labeling, pill organizers, backup schedules, and even mobile alarms create gentle safety nets. These simple acts of foresight turn journeys from fragile dreams into sustainable realities. Danger 5. Emergency care barriers, Miguel's quiet fear. Miguel, 76, had dreamed for years of visiting the sunlit plazas and colorful markets of a distant country. His heart swelled with excitement as he wandered vibrant streets, soaking in the foreign melodies and scents. The beauty was overwhelming, the culture dazzling. Yet beneath the joy, a quiet fear simmered, a fear he only recognized when discomfort struck. One afternoon, climbing a steep hill to a historic viewpoint, Miguel felt a tightening in his chest. Miguel, 76, had dreamed for years of visiting the sunlit plazas and colorful markets of a distant country. His heart swelled with excitement as he wandered vibrant streets, soaking in the foreign melodies and scents. The beauty was overwhelming, the culture dazzling. Yet beneath the joy, a quiet fear simmered, a fear he only recognized when discomfort struck. One afternoon, climbing a steep hill to a historic viewpoint, Miguel felt a tightening in his chest. He paused, hoping it would pass. It didn't. Panic crept in as he realized he needed help, but the bustling square around him buzzed in a language he barely understood. He gestured desperately, trying to explain his symptoms. Precious minutes slipped away, tangled in confusion and helplessness. By the time assistance arrived, Miguel's anxiety had magnified the situation, clouding clear communication and delaying necessary care. Traveling abroad adds quiet barriers to urgent care, language differences, unfamiliar medical systems, insurance complications, and the lack of immediate access to personal health histories. For seniors, these invisible obstacles can quietly turn manageable health issues into frightening ordeals. Dr. Ellis reflects, Miguel's fear reminds us that preparation is an act of self-respect. Carrying medical information cards, learning key health phrases, and researching nearby clinics before traveling gently turn foreign landscapes from fearful unknowns into safer spaces for adventure. Final reflection: mindful journeys. Travel after 70 continues to hold powerful, transformative potential, filled with joy, discovery, and meaningful connections. Yet gentle acknowledgement of hidden risks is essential, quietly guiding preparations that protect and empower us. Embracing mindful precautions doesn't restrict adventure. It enriches it with deeper gratitude and respectful understanding of our evolving needs. Aging gracefully involves cultivating gentle vigilance, compassionate self-awareness, and thoughtful planning, ensuring every journey remains a cherished memory rather than a quiet regret. Adventure after 70 is a sacred gift, one to be protected, nurtured, and celebrated with every step we take. Let awareness softly guide us. Let wisdom light the path forward. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone you care about. Subscribe for more timeless stories that honor life's quiet strength. Your next journey deserves all the protection and all the joy you can give it.